And here we are on Father's Day. It is the 19th, I think, of June, first day of summer, and welcome to the unedited version of the garden tour. It's been about 2 weeks since we were last in the garden, so let's see what we've got. Heading over to the lighthouse bed. The daylilies are in full bloom. Took some time this morning and weeded the lower level here. This tree is bush, destined for a haircut. Maybe today yet, maybe not. I have a surprise native plant blooming here. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's brilliant. I love it. It grows every year right there, so we're just letting it grow. On this side of the upper bed, the phlox is doing great. This was a discount phlox that we bought last year that looked pretty sad, but it actually survived, so good on him. There's a little iris growing there. Some glads and some more iris. Our little marigold. From the front, this Japanese lilac is just starting to come into bloom, so that's lovely to see. In another couple days he'll be beautiful. There's from the street view the upper bed. We'll take a look. Excuse the noise, there's a helicopter flying around in the back. Uh-oh, stars. We had some severe sirens going on a while ago, and now Stars Air Ambulance is flying back and forth, so that doesn't sound good. Petunias are doing okay. They all need to be deadheaded. Lilies are coming up. None of these bulbs that I planted will actually bloom this year, but it's nice to see that they're all sort of growing well. He needs another little trim. This is a Japonica spirea. The lilies are starting to come up. They won't bloom this year either. They'll be a next year bloom. But there's lovely colorage going on here. You can hear Dad's bamboo wind chime going like crazy. This is a salvia. I probably called it something else in the last video, but it's definitely a salvia. It's a perennial, and it's coming back, so, and starting to flower even, so that's nice. They repel mosquitoes too, so that's a great plant to have. This is our pasture sage, prairie sage. It's grown huge, and it smells so lovely. Here, I wish we had smell-o-vision, but here, smell. Oh, isn't that nice? Here's our little apple tree. Still haven't gotten him transplanted yet. Need to do that though. He needs to be able to spread his roots a little bit. Got some big weeds back here. I thought I weeded this fairly well, but I missed a few. That's the neighbor's dog. The neighbor's dogs. Go lay down. Over here we have some glads. Lots of creeping bellflower. Seriously, I need to do some work back here. This one has finally stopped blooming. You can see there's some dying flowers here. So once it's completely done, we'll come in and give him a bit of a haircut. Over here, we have some lilies coming up. Quite a few raspberries we need to do something with. Go lay down. And Again, lots of weeding needed to be done, some deadheading, but it's coming along. This is the clematis that we transplanted first in this spring. He's growing great. Over here, the Virginia creeper, and believe it or not, that's all right. All the little morning glories are coming along fairly well. We'll go in the backyard so we don't disturb the puppy. He's not very happy. The peonies. These are the peonies that we're letting go to seed. I'm going to try not to let my shadow get in the way, but that's not working real well. These are peony seeds. We have to wait for them to turn sort of a browny color and kind of crack open, and then we can harvest the seed that's inside. So we'll know those are good. This is that other peony that was growing in the back. It's got some beautiful flowers. They're just about at the end of their lifespan, but again, same thing. We're going to let it go to seed this year. Maybe we can grow a few more. There's the clematis in the back, and you can't really tell from here, so I'm just going to take you to the outside again. This is a clematis seed. I'm trying to get you into focus here. It's very fuzzy on the outside, but on the inside of it is this little green ball. And once that little green ball turns brown, we can harvest the seeds out of there too. And then we can grow some more. Over here, Sophie's bed. Those are little tiny carrots that are growing. And you can see all the new growth coming in on the daylily here. So he's like in that spot. This is the rainbow chard, which is coming up really well. And here is a couple radishes that, well, one radish that I think is going to make it. We had a real downpour, and unfortunately, there's no drainage hole in this bed. Something we didn't think of because, of course, it was used as a water fountain. So it kind of got flooded, and the radishes did not appreciate that very much. But there's still one or two growing there. So I think the plan is to let them go to seed, and then next year we can actually have quite a few of them. We also had lots of wind, and our poor little Stand By Me is not standing at all. So I'm going to have to get some sort of support for him. And our lilac is in need of a big trim. He also was completely windblown and terrorized. But you can see the one that we cut right down. Look at all those shoots on him. He's going to come back just lovely. And in the meantime, we found a few other things growing back here. There's another daylily. There's some more Virginia creeper. So yeah, this is going to be a nice little bed once it's done. Back over to this side, we put down a bunch of mulch in here, and that makes a big difference. There we have some lilies. These are always the first ones to bloom. This is the perfect spot for them, I guess. But yeah, they're just gorgeous, gorgeous orange color. See how close I can get you there. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Can't ask for better. Here, see if I can do it without my shadow. And everything else in here seems to be growing really well, so happy with that. Very happy with that. Farther on, more bags of mulch, because this section, which is all looks like dirt right now, really isn't. We moved the strawberries, transplanted them all into a row into the front, and in the back here where it looks like dirt, there's actually a series of bulbs. There's 20 or 30 of them, and next year this will come up and be like a butterfly garden. Very excited about that. Over here, our little petunia towers are actually growing fairly well. Just beautiful, beautiful flowers in here. I'm so happy with these petunias. I might have to propagate some of these so that I can keep them over winter. Oh, speaking of pollinators, hello, Mr. Bee. But yeah, these galaxy petunias are just breathtaking. And so are, you know, the little marigolds. But yeah, this is actually turning out to be not a bad spot. So I think we might make a few more of these towers, maybe try some different designs and that kind of thing, but this will become nothing more than a tower bed. This is not just a dead root, it is a hydrangea, Nico Blue, and he is going to end up over here once we get this cleaned out. The wood pile, I know it doesn't look like it, but it's actually gone down by about half, so we're doing pretty good there. Hollyhock is starting to get some flower buds on it, so he's going to be blooming in a couple weeks. Might have to put a stake in him and tie him up. We'll have to see how bad the wind and stuff gets. Here's our little wood pile. Dad's putting away wood for winter. This is the Japanese ivory silk, and he is finally done blooming as well. So I need to get in here and do some pruning. When you're pruning, you need to come back to the first good set of leaves. So in this case, I would come back to about there, because that's a nice set of leaves waving at you in the face there. So that needs to be done to all of these. And I have no idea how I'm going to get that tall. Over here, we transplanted a couple hosta, and then found another hosta growing behind a tree that's a different variety. So we moved him over here too, and they're actually doing really well. These guys are not. There's just not enough light on this corner for anything other than a hosta to grow. So we're just going to let these hosta grow crazy. This is my poor lily of the valley that I thought would grow well back here, and he's not doing very well either. So I don't know. I don't know at all. This one is also finished blooming. So now that he's done blooming, we will come in and take all of these very, very tall branches right out, so that he just ends up being a small bush again. So we're very close to just coming back here, and first week in July, I believe, is when the plan calls for taking out these big, big tall branches. Over here, before I get onto this, well, I'll start at the black path. So we got some stone fence and put a border in all the way along, and made a path all the way through the back, because this is an area where the grass does not grow. So we put down some black mulch. I still need maybe, I don't know, 6 bags to finish, but we're making a black mulch path back here, and I think it looks great. I'm very happy with it. On this side of it, we're going to plant hydrangeas, and that's what this is going here. So this is another blue Nico, and I believe this is an ambrosia. Is it? Annabelle. But it's white. So we'll have blue, white, blue, white, blue, and this whole wall area will become a big hydrangea show, which is going to be great, I hope. Over here, the Virginia creeper is doing really well. It's filling out on the fence, slowly but surely. I mean, every year it'll get thicker and thicker and thicker, so that's good. This guy also needs a trim. He's finally done. he'll be a lot easier to trim because he's not going to be 1,800 feet tall. And here you can see this is the last of the French lilacs to start blooming. So again, next year they'll all be small like this, easy to trim, easy to prune, and they will come back and last longer and longer. Here's some daylilies have poked up finally, and they're growing fairly well now that they're not competing with this mock orange. This is all that's left of the mock orange over here. We're going to get in here eventually, again, maybe the first week of July, and pull all these right out of there so that we can let this area become either daylily or more lilac. And I don't know if you can see back there. Let's see if I can get them. There's some little birds, and they're having a little dust bath. Oh, they're gone. Well, they were having a dust bath. So now on to the hosta bed. I need to get in here again and deadhead a few of these marigolds so that they'll come back. They look like they're dying, but they're not. they just need some deadheading, and then they'll come back with their beautiful little orange flowers. The hosta itself has filled in, like you can't even tell where we took out great big clumps. Very happy with that. And over here, this is an Asiatic lily that's poking up. And this year, there, he brought a buddy. So they're starting to spread too. So that was sort of the hope once we got rid of the hosta, or thinned it out anyway, was that we'd end up with lilies spreading back here. That's a, if I remember right, that is a beautiful pink. So we'll have to revisit that one a few times. Here is that other Japonica spira. It's about to come into flower now. I don't know if you can see those. They will actually turn into tiny little purple flowers, and they're so pretty. And then once it's done, we'll trim it all back again. Up in Dad's nest, we still have an egg. So I'm guessing it's not going to make it, unfortunately. But that is the way it is. Sometimes the robin doesn't live. Now, through to the front yard. I'm going to be real quick with the front yard because not much has really changed here. We're still under construction. I still haven't gotten to this tree, although now I sort of can't because, well, here's a better spot to show you. He is starting to come out into flower. So he's going to be actually really pretty when he does. And then once he's done flowering, we'll come in, clean out all this dead stuff, and give him a good shot at next year. Haven't done anything over here at all, except buy hens and chicks. So we're now in the hens and chicks business, and we have some ideas for rocks and things like that. So we're going to turn this into our little rock garden thing. Still a plan. Still a plan. Over here, haven't done much of anything either. The lilies, again on this corner, are getting ready to come out. These ones will come busting out first. Then these ones will follow suit. So there should be quite a bit of flowerage on this corner in a few weeks. More lily, more lily. One more lily that's going to come out. The little annual / perennial bed is doing all right. The seagrass is growing just beautiful. I bought on the discount bin they had these poor little oriental poppies that were looking very dehydrated and unloved. So I picked those up and we'll put those in here. Those are perennials as well, so they will come back. Some of the colors of these marigolds are just beautiful. And here's Dad's wall peony, petunia. Every year Dad has a petunia planted in the wall. And I mean, it's loving that spot. I don't know how they love it, but they do. Lots of these also still need to be deadheaded. And once we do that, one morning I'll come out here and do it. These, so walking review here. These are not quite flowering yet. Another few days anyway, but they're definitely coming out as yellow flowers, so that's pretty cool. Like that. And they're spreading. This is definitely not attached to that main plant, but he's growing, so go. Also in the back, a couple more pasture sage. I'm going to let them continue to spread, but only along the very, very back, because they'll get big like the other one did and make a really nice backdrop for all the colors. This planter came over, cut down a lot of things. Holy elm trees. There's like 1,000 elm trees growing in this. Definitely needs to get a cut. Anyway, it's all actually starting to grow back. So we cut this right down, and over here you can see, wait, maybe you can, there. Over here you can see it's starting to come back. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with that actually. So everything is growing again. This is a little coleus that we started growing from clippings from our main one. So he's going to end up being an inside plant, I think. Right now he's in the shade and I'm kind of liking it there, so we'll just leave him there. On to Hospital Road. These guys are coming along. Not as great as I'd hoped, but they're coming. Maybe they need a bit more sun, I don't know. The grass is actually coming back too. And it's got its lovely purple color, so that's great. Here's all our little, not begonias, geraniums that we have transplanted here. Some of them are getting, I have to come in and do some cleanup. But, oh well. Yeah. But, lots of healthy leaves on him too. More little hosta. This one's going great guns. This needs to be planted. That's a lily I accidentally pulled out. And a hydrangea top that I'm going to see if I can't get propagate. So I have to do that yet today. Fairly quickly by the looks of it. More hosta, more geranium. Beauteous bed. Oh, this planter, I just love this planter so much, how it came out so well. Also needs deadheading. That's the only thing with petunias. You gotta be on top of them and deadhead them all the time. This guy is flowering. Need to come in here and chop off some dead ones, but the morning glory are bouncing up pretty good in the back. Pretty soon they'll start to vine and we can get them growing up there. I have to keep reminding myself it's, you know, just the first day of summer, because I want everything to grow now, and of course it can't. So there we go. There's our garden tour. We're back at the fountain, and yeah, that's about all we got. So we'll edit this one up, put it up on the main channel, but here's your sneak peek. Later.